Welcome to Miracle Moment. This is the new mommy season that will absolutely rock your world, up-level your mama game, and skyrocket your business. I'm your host, Ray Irelan, and brand new mama. Like every new mama out there, I enjoyed those quiet, precious moments of those first few months. But after that, there was this stirring in my heart to lean back into business and activate my entrepreneurial brain. I went into a business partnership with a financially failing podcast production company and turned it into a multi-six-figure production house with over 65 million downloads in just a few months. It's been a roller coaster, and I've learned some unforgettable lessons. As a mompreneur, I know how challenging it can be to balance work, family, and self-care and still see the everyday miracles. So each week, I'll share stories of women who have defied the odds to pursue their dreams of motherhood while also building successful businesses. This show will open your eyes so you can see the miracles around you. With more awareness, more miracles will show up. Light a fire in your soul, mamas. You deserve it. Hello, everyone. I am so excited. I've been looking forward to this recording with this special guest all week as I've been preparing, and let's just bring her in. Everyone, this is Kisma. Kisma is the founder and CEO of Illumination Academy. She is the co-host of the Illumination podcast. Definitely go check that out. She is known as the Prosperity Code Mentor. So Kisma helps entrepreneurs and career professionals create unimaginable prosperity in all ways by tapping into their inner spiritual power. And for you listening, she's going to be helping you as a mamapreneur or as a woman who's desiring to become a mom, how to really tap into that prosperity, because things get crazy and real intense once you bring another little human into this life. And I know that's one of the biggest things that people are scared of having kids, is because they don't know how it's going to work out with the finances. So I wanted to bring Kisma in at the very beginning of this series because it is one of those question marks, and I think one of those deciding factors to whether you have a kid or when you're going to have a kid and all of that. It happens so early on, and yet it's something that I think all parents deal with and play with and struggle with and all of the things all throughout the journey of being a parent. So thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate it.
It's so great to be here. Thank you. I'm really excited to be here and meet everyone through the podcast. You moms out there, moms wannabe, are very special humans on the planet.
And Kisma, of course, she's on here. She's also a mom. So she's going to be dropping all that mama wisdom for us. And I guess the first thing that I want to just dive into is, how do you expand? Say you want to have a kid or you get pregnant, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, I am either comfortable or maybe I have a little extra saved up. But it's always like, wait, this is going to be a new expense. This is going to be a whole human, and not just for a little bit. It's not like getting a new car that you need to fix every now and then. It's a human that you're going to love and take care of for possibly 18 years, if not longer. So how do we expand our abundance field and like confidence to say, I got this as a mom?
It's such a great question. And the thing that came to me, because my daughter's 28. So transparently, I've been there, done that. She's off doing her own thing. But of course,
you have all the success codes for us.
I have all the success codes. But I will tell you, I think what's important, I love to go with universal laws, right? I love to work with the universe and spirituality. So if we look at what is the principle of life force, it's expansion. What is more expansive than bringing or helping another human to come onto this planet? Whatever we believe, I believe we choose our parents. I know Zoe chose me because of all the ways that I would travel and do all these things that really help her to have a happy heart. But having children is in principle of life force expansion. Immediately, I think because of, we have to look at how the news or society or social media starts creating fear and scarcity, because we think we need to do this or have that, or there's a comparison thing. When we really get back to center, what does a child need? Love, food, air, all the things that we already have. And I say this not to limit, like I'm all about have what you want, do what you want. But this is a really important concept in philosophy is whatever you have, whatever you think you need to buy or bring into, whether you're thinking about having a child or you have a child, own it. Don't let it own you. Don't buy, have out of comparison. Start with pure love. And you're opening this experience for this baby, for this child. And especially, I think if you are an entrepreneur, how lucky that your child is going to be watching you. Like, to me, that's incredible. With all the pain, like we know having a business, everything comes up, right? I call it like a fast track to self-realization because you go through everything. How amazing that you'll be teaching that just through demonstration, just by leading by example to your child, to your children. Like, it's incredible because it's way different than maybe what I saw growing up or my parents saw growing up. This is all about expansion.
Yeah. I love that. I totally was that person. I was like, I need to have at least 3 million just sitting there in the bank before I have a kid. Okay, so now everyone knows I do not have that. and I remember when I got pregnant, I'm like, "No, I don't have that 3 million. I don't
I
know
don't have
why.
my
I
3
couldn't keep up
million.
with that number. Living in San Diego, I'm like, this is what we need. But it's like, it's so funny because that obviously that whole fake reality just really got dismissed in these last few months and
Mhm.
seeing, yeah, like you said, he doesn't actually need that much more. And we don't want to have toys everywhere. Like we want toys that he likes to play with, but
Yeah,
we don't need
that,
too much for the kid. Rafa just
right.
wants our love and our snuggles. That's it. And
Right,
breast
exactly.
milk.
And that's the most healthy. I remember when I was pregnant with Zoe, this very wise woman, her name was Willie, and she said to me, "Look, you could actually do it with a drawer and a blanket
Yeah.
and your breasts and you're good. Get some diapers." And I
Yeah.
was like, that really puts things in perspective. And I think it's like anything, right? What do we need to take away instead of add on?
Mhm.
And so when you're having a baby, raising a child, the world is noisy enough. You actually don't need to pile on. You want to be able to take away and allow that deep connection for
So
you
true.
with the child, for everything that you do. It's just so much easier. And then you, abundance will be there. It's all
Mhm.
expansion. Abundance will be there. My favorite saying is always, it just might be possible. Like, it
Yeah.
just might be possible that not only can you have a child, you can have a successful business, you can do it all, but less is more.
Yeah, I love that. And one thing that we've noticed, and since we've actually researched it because we're like, okay, this is interesting, is that expansion where actually our finances expanded in these months
Hmm.
of having a newborn. And it's hard. It's really difficult to work more and expand more. And yet it feels like it's almost like the natural law is that our
Yes.
family expanded and the universe met us to be able to provide, knowing that this is our new
Right.
family.
I love this so much because you're talking about the energetic container, right? So a family is an energetic container, a business is an energetic container. And just as one of the things that we'll see with new business owners is, oh, I didn't open up my business bank account. Well, then how's the money going to get there? You don't have a home for your money. Got to have a bank account, right? It's like business
Mm.
101. But when you decide, when that internal decision is, my business will be successful, I will be at that vibrational match to be successful. And the child becomes an added why to have that expansion. And I think that is really beautiful because the container's there, the container demands. We look at the law of supply and demand isn't a bad word, but it's really like, okay, universe, this is where we're going. This is what we demand of the universe. This is what we're going to do to partner with the universe. And here's our why. It's a beautiful family. Like, you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah. It's a pretty darn good why.
Yeah. And it's
Yes.
one that's very responsive to energy.
Yes, totally. And so I know that your background, you have a really unique background. And one of the first nights that we met, we were at this beautiful dinner party and we sat across from each other and we were sharing how we were both musicians. And like side note, we actually both went to the same conservatory studying when we were young. So it's just so fun to connect and see how we got to connect so much later on. And so you used to be a classical musician. You even lived in Hong Kong. You had a really incredible life as an artist. And I just have to bring up the artist perspective with money because it is so limiting for the most part. Man. There are some artists that have shifted that reality, but really it is this lack and connected to being an artist identity. So I'm curious for you, and then add in being a mom or a caregiver. So what was that shift? Did you have, we can call it a miracle moment, or did you have a shift or a defining moment that really helped you step into the abundance field that now you're this global leader in abundance?
It's such a great question. I think I want to address the artistry thing too. First, there's some weird story energy that we can take on as artists because it's our heart and soul. When I started playing flute, I really didn't care what kind of money I made. I just had to play. And it was like, it's a real thing. It wasn't some weird diva thing. It was like a real thing. I wanted to play and I would do whatever I could to play and to get a job. And it's a very interesting focus because that's the intention. Then you come to a place where like, oh, I need to make a living. And I've been in orchestras where we've been on strike and we really had to fight for more wages. And I was a freelancer in New York. And I think for me, whether it was a miracle moment or a time of transition, somewhere internally, I remember thinking, wait a minute, what do the top surgeons in the country make? What do the top attorneys make? What does any leader in their field make? If I'm really good at what I do, why don't I just decide for that? And I'm not sure how it's going to happen. And here's the thing. We have to decide internally before we get to the how, because the how is going to make the mind crazy, right? So I'm going to decide for that. And I'm going to decide to be an amazing musician and make a really good living doing it. And that mindset shift is when I did get the job in Hong Kong, which was a really great job. Hong Kong Philharmonic. We were paid well, lived in a big city. But I also did this thing, I call it the law of detachment. I let go. And this, as you know, Ray, applies in business. If we're so attached, we're squeezing the life out of it. Children, if we're so attached to our children, and our kids will be the number one attachment. Zoe's my number one attachment. It's the thing I work through all the time. But we have to let go so the child can breathe. We have to let go so the career can breathe. We have to let go so the money can breathe. And so it was that point in time where I auditioned for the Hong Kong Philharmonic. It was really funny. And I did, 7 rounds. And we were in Miami. They did a US tour. And the conductor's like, oh, well, if you don't get it, it's not because you're not really good. There's just someone better. And I was like, duh, of course. That's usually how an audition works. Interesting. 2 weeks later, they called and said, you're number 2. And I was like, huh, okay. And I thought before I took the audition, I had this intuitive hit, that job is mine. But I still let it go. I started the season in Savannah Symphony. I was playing there. A week after the season started, they called and said, the guy we hired didn't work out. Can you be here like tomorrow? So it took me a week, but I managed. I went, spent 8 more years there. But it was that really divine formula of deciding my worth, deciding my life, and letting go. And I worked with the musicians as well. One of my clients has a great chamber group in San Diego called Camerata. It's amazing. But when musicians and artists come to you, they're like, well, it's impossible. I just like, what about Madonna? What about Seal? What about Sting? I mean, come on. It's been proven. And people teach guitar online and they make a beautiful living. It's an internal decision. Does that make sense? I hope that's helpful.
Hey there, fabulous mamapreneurs. I've got something super special for you. Introducing Giggles and Growth, hilarious reflection prompts for the mamapreneur. So just picture this. You're journaling your way through prompts that have you giggling and reflecting like never before. Ever wondered what your business would say if it could talk? Or how about sharing the funniest thing your kids have ever said about your work? But here's the best part. These prompts aren't just about having a good laugh. They're an incredible investment in yourself and your journey as a mompreneur. Taking time for giggles and growth means giving yourself the gift of self-discovery, clarity, and personal growth. As you reflect on these entertaining prompts, you'll gain valuable insights into your business, your role as a mom and as an entrepreneur, and even find hidden gems of wisdom. And the cherry on top, it's absolutely free. No cost, no catch, just a joy-filled opportunity to embrace laughter while empowering yourself. So what are you waiting for? Unleash your laughter and embrace the growth with Giggles and Growth. Click the link in the show notes or visit www.rayirelan.com/giggles-and-growth to grab your copy now. Let's make your entrepreneurial journey even more fabulous. Get your Giggles and Growth freebie today, mamas. You deserve it.
Does that make sense? I hope that's helpful.
Absolutely. I love that. And the thing that I'm getting caught up as a new mom is, okay, I got that around business. I got that around finances. I don't get that around my kid though yet. So how do you let go when you have that desire, that anchor in your heart that's saying, hold on?
No, I think for any parent, especially mothers probably, but fathers too, it is the number one attachment. And I spent hours talking to my teacher in India about this, who has a very strong opinion. He will say some very provocative things to get people to like sort of stop and completely let go and focus about how they're treating their kids. But he's like, they're not possessions. You are here to be a steward of their mind, body, soul. And their higher self chose you to come in and to create something. So lead by example, always lead by example, love fully. And at some point, we've got to let them be their human.
Whew.
We just have to. I know.
Chills
it
all
is
over my body. I don't know. I think
really
that's a new
is.
mom thing. I'm like, I'm not there
yet.
I
know.
Which is why we have years, hopefully, to process that letting of go.
Right. 100%. But the leading by example, and I'll tell you something too, when they get older, Swami Parthasarathi is his name. I was in India and he was doing like a Q&A. And somebody said, I can't get my child to talk to me. And he said, stop asking questions. He was like, stop asking questions. And I was like, I didn't like it when my parents asked questions.
So true.
So I tried it. I flew home whenever it was, the trip was over. And usually like I would pick Zoe up at school and we'd have this maybe 8-minute ride in the car. And I want to ask everything. By then she was maybe 11, 12 years old, maybe 13. And she'd get in the car. And instead of starting with all the questions, I'd just be like, hey, hi, and zipped it. And the first time I tried this, it was a miracle. 5 minutes of silence. And then she said, so mom, how was your day? And I was like, it works. Just zip it. And I think as well, sometimes I was just talking to a parent on this intensive I was at, and he was having some challenging moments with his son. And I said, are you asking a lot of questions? Yeah. I was like, just make a statement. Say your child messes something up or they forget something rather than why did you do that? How could you not remember? Just say, so I bet you had a lot going on. I bet your mind was somewhere else. Our children want to be seen and heard just like we do. But we're so protective that we'll zero in on what's wrong and try and fix it instead of, again, giving that expansiveness for them to figure it out and for us giving them that space.
I love it. Yeah, what an expander in all ways. So what would you say is the most important thing that you can teach your child about being like prosperous in this day and age?
Yeah. Again, so much of the work that I'll do with clients or anybody in a group training is going right back to their money story. Whose voice is this? Whose money energy is this? I talk about healing wealth wounds.
And so are
Heal
you
your
saying
own
you
wealth
ask
wounds.
your child that?
No, I'll ask clients that.
Oh,
But the
okay.
point is, as a parent, you have an opportunity to heal any wealth wounds, any money stories that maybe you took on without any blame. It's very common. Ancestral stories, life scripts, the whole thing. Parents have an opportunity to heal that now and then to be so present to the language that they use in front of their kids. And if there's two parents or two caregivers, be so present to how you speak about money in front of your child, because it's between 1 and 7, they're a walking subconscious mind. They're a sponge and they're going to hear things. And just by reorganizing and healing our own money beliefs, we then instill in our children prosperity, because we're not doing the money doesn't grow on tree and how could you want that? And there isn't enough. The language is changed. The healing occurs, the abundance occurs, and we're again demonstrating by example. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. So just really being clear in your language and in that intention. I'm just new on this journey. I'm sure there's going to be some big ups and downs that we go through, especially being an entrepreneurial family.
Right.
We don't have that salary income that's steady. We're always in growth. And that's one of our top values. So sometimes that means if we want to grow a company, that might mean that we're willing to let financial put bigger investments in and stuff like that. So I guess it's just really being clear around the mindset of success and like prosperity and almost
well,
like
you just
really
said, you said such an important word, invest. Think about how most people talk about money. Oh, it's so expensive. Oh, I have to spend that. Oh, we as entrepreneurs always invest. I'm always investing in my business and my own coaching. Invest. What a difference between our children hearing the word invest in growth instead of anything around lack and scarcity. Again, full circle is being an entrepreneur is giving your child the gift of prosperity, especially knowing that we have to watch our language, our intention, and our own money energy. Sky's the limit for ourselves and for them, because we're holding a different attitude than scarcity, middle class working, never enough kind of energy, which is not true. It goes against the laws of the universe. The law of supply says everything comes from the same place, the same supply. That supply is never depleted, and we have access to that supply. Whatever anybody's word, is it God, universe? I just call it supply. It's love, it's money, it's energy, all of it. But we have to really be centered in our own mind and energy and decision-making, that internal decision that we're going to have access, that we are going to do what we need to do to cultivate that access to expand.
I love that. And it takes just being in that wider expanded mindset of everything that you're doing as well. And then your kid just gets to follow up.
How lucky for your child to be in this energy, to absorb this, to learn.
Totally. And I'm curious for you, what age do you think is appropriate for kids to start playing with money?
Oh, that's a good
and I guess
question.
play, but use it. Like have it in their hands, have responsibility themselves.
Yeah, I think anytime we can teach children about value, it's important. Whether it's money, whether it's time, whether it's screen energy, they're on screens a lot these days. The value of, hey, too much can be depleting. I'm not sure what words you would use with children these days, but too much is going to take away. Maybe you're going to get a little bit upset or whatever, but it's like teaching the difference between when something gives energy or takes away. But also, I remember when Zoe was growing up, she would have a little jewelry store. We'd go visit my mom in Ohio, and we had all this old costume jewelry, and she'd open up shop. And she put all the little pieces out, and we would have to go and pay like a dime or a quarter or something. But it was so fun because we would make a big deal about, oh, look at this pretty bracelet. Like, here's a quarter. that's like understanding transaction in a really cool way.
Mhm.
And so things like that could be really amazing in any specific toys where they understand, oh, wow, here's $1, here's $5, and look at this beautiful food.
Yeah. Or like the
Look what
lemonade
money.
stand.
Yeah. Because money is a great energy of the planet. And when they understand the value of when money is exchanged for something healthy, for good food, for a really special toy, that is a great thing to put in their subconscious mind rather than, oh, there isn't enough. And how could you ask for that? Or you're a bad girl or boy because you asked. And sadly, that happens a lot because parents are trying to they want to protect children from disappointment. They want to protect their own family from not having. You go back to everything that you have. We have to use that law of increase or praise. You praise what you have, which is always going to be that love and connection first, 100% top value. And then anything else is just like, oh, how cool is this that we get to have this, or we're buying ice cream tonight, or look at those new shoes. But let's trim it down, folks, because too much stuff is really never a good thing.
Mhm. Absolutely. Just like
And
the
you're not
house
teaching
filled with
value.
too
Right.
many plastic baby toys. You just don't
Oh,
need it.
you don't need it. You
Don't need
don't need
it.
it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much. This has been so insightful. I know I
Yeah.
feel inspired to just continue to watch my own thoughts and language in our house and also get excited just about as Rafa grows up, the fun things that we will be able to do with him that are
Yeah.
entrepreneurial.
Yeah. And I wanted to share one more thing because you guys are so great at this and travel and getting experiences. So again, when you look at the value of something, what's the value of an experience of camping, of going to the beach? Like you can't put a price tag on that. That creates empathy and compassion and kindness in children. It allows them to connect. And that to me, that's abundance, right? That's prosperity. Taking Zoe to the other side of the planet when she was 4 really made my family freak out. But the experiences she got, her wanting to, when she was 8, she's like, I think I need to travel to every country on the planet because the planet's my home. And I can't imagine not going to every room of my own house. And I was like, here we go. Like
Oh,
she is a traveler. But look at that openness and connections. Think about those experiences and that connection. That's abundance. You start from there, praise that, allow that expansion. It just might be possible. Sky's the limit. You can do anything.
I love that. Thank you so much. Such a cute
Aw,
perspective of I just need to see every room in the house.
every room. It's
It's so beautiful. Thank you so much. And at the end of these conversations, I love to just see, and if you're open to it, would you be open to doing a blessing for any of the moms that are
Oh,
listening or
100%.
any of the
Oh my
women
gosh.
who want to become moms? That would be an awesome way to end this.
Oh, I would love that. Okay. So it's all right, everyone. One of the things that I feel is so important is to connect to our higher selves. So our higher self is us with all the ways of being that we seek. So I would just encourage you, take a moment, close your eyes if you can, and a big breath in, exhale, and softly say, connecting to my higher self. And if you're that mom that already has your child, maybe your child is already growing inside of you or here on the planet, I want you just to imagine the most beautiful divine love harmonization coming down from your higher self, from all of your teachers and guides and angels pouring into you and onto your family. And be willing to receive that every single day because it's there, right? I always say our spiritual team wants to work for us. And they're like, why aren't you asking for more? Why aren't you asking? Tap into that. And if you're a mom that is deciding to call in your child, I really want you to take a moment and connect with your higher self and ask your higher self to connect with the higher self of your baby, of the soul of that baby, because that child is there trying to find its way to you. Just as we know, anything we want is trying to find its way to you. So take a moment, connect your higher self with that child's higher self, and just say, in divine timing, I'm ready, I'm willing, I'm receptive. and give so much gratitude and appreciation.
Wow. Thank you so much. Wow.
Oh, you're
I feel
welcome.
like this has been such a gift. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, and blessings to everyone. It's going to be okay. I can tell you that. It's going to be
better than okay.
Way better than okay.
All right. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, mamas. That's a wrap for another epic episode on Miracle Moment, the new mommy season. Catch me on the internet at Ray Irelan, sharing this wild mompreneur life. And don't forget to check out www.rayirelan.com/freebies for all the resources and support while building your soul-aligned business. Are you feeling the miracles coming your way? Stay blessed, ride this miracle vibe all day long, and remember, it's all about the journey. Catch you on the next episode.